What's going on, everybody? Forever in a Day with C. Thank you for your patience and shout out to our A1 Day Ones for joining us. We need you to like, comment, and subscribe on anything that you pick up on from this video.
Yes.
Let us know how you feel about it. Today, we want to progress from the boundary conversation we introduced you to, specifically about ourselves being a collective and the item, what that looks like for us.
Yes.
Today we'll be talking about wholeness from a feminine and masculine perspective. And I'll tell you right away, it is not what you expect it to be. So please tune in, play it, and process it.
Yeah.
So where do we begin?
Where do we begin? How about you give them your perspective? Because I think I go first. Just about all
Well,
the
that's
time.
just me on the outside complimenting
He's a
the feminine.
gentleman.
Yes. So on the outside, that is a courtesy. Well, within, right, masculine wholeness for me specifically is the ability to truly understand the things that you are attracting. So that's multiple things that in the outer of any masculine energy, and that's in reference to anyone that subscribes to that masculine energy and identity, where you're defined by what you gather, what you collect, what you save, and also what you spend. That could be financially, that can be physically, as far as procreating. That can also be mentally in how you have to think as a result of doing those things. In some situations, that's protecting and providing. But in other situations, an ideal, which progresses throughout your inner and outer ideal, you want to be able to manage multiple things at once. Now, that's the key connector to what wholeness can be, because that connecting everything that you're doing on the outside of you must be understood within yourself. So you know why you're attracting a certain type of party, a certain type of interest, and a certain type of prosperity. And prosperity can be seen in multiple ways. But on the outside, from a masculine perspective, you're defined by those things that you are attached to. But you create those connections. So that's how I would describe masculine wholeness in my perspective and my experience. How about yourself? With feminine?
Would you say it has been your route to understanding this about yourself? How did that look for you?
It was a discovery of trying new things with my thought process. Being conditioned the way I was growing up, you think dormantly, if you will. You think pessimistically. There's rare times where you have the ability to just think a positive thought without thinking the worst possible scenario. So working your way out of that, it cost a lot of help for me. I was reading self-help books before I was 30. So from about, let's say, 18, 19 to about 25, I was just reading on perspectives that was third party, of course, because it's from another person, but processing it in real time for me. So in specific order, I had to understand the voices in my head, which connect to the multiple things that and responsibilities that you have and that you're described by, or what you obtain for those things. So I had to understand that there were several different things going on within myself, and I had to understand the difference between what I truly desire for myself and a pessimistic thought, doubt, a courageous thought, a peaceful one, because they're all going on at the same time when you're trying to make a decision or move forward in a concept. So once I understood the several different perspectives that I had within myself, I had to quiet the perspectives that were not of my best interest, the doubt. That's around the time where you find yourself, you try new things. At this time, I believe I was either in college or in college again, and I had the ability to process these thoughts in solitude and not necessarily around a party to misconstrue any energy that I was receiving of myself. So whatever I attracted was what I actually was attracting. And the next step was going through therapy and rehab myself. Once I organized the thoughts, I dealt with the things that my inner child couldn't necessarily deal with. So that led me to about 28, where I felt the ability to process what I just explained to you today. By just relinquishing all of those things that you think you are, that you are told you are conditioned to be identified by. you separate those things that are not of your best interest, and there's so many different ways to put that together in masculine energy. That's what makes masculine energy different from one person to the next. But within my case, not needing to showcase any sort of outward expression was not in my best interest because I had multiple responsibilities. So following that process, quieting the voice, getting help, and then processing what I just been through, accepting the challenge of being on your own was the last step I needed to find myself and attract everything else that I'm currently progressing through today.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully that wasn't long-winded, but that is very, very detailed, and I just wanted to be authentic about it.
We appreciate the vulnerability here. So if you guys, when you have comments and things, like we were saying, I think in the first video or second video, we are here to listen.
Yeah.
Because it when you begin to be vulnerable and open up like that, you are really healing yourself. So we understand how hard it could be at times.
Yeah.
Because it's still difficult for us with certain things, but you gotta ebb and flow with it.
Ebb and flow.
That is my thing right now, ebbing and flowing. So,
nice little segue.
So
there.
I had to make sure I said it the way that I mean for it to come out.
Hey, wholeness looks different from everybody.
It does.
Yeah.
Because I have to do that. For me, I have to affirm myself in different types of ways. And because I'm still learning to be vocal about stuff, I make sure I write everything down that I need to say so that I say it and I don't mix my words in any way, shape, or form. I want it to be clear. So, for myself, I said feminine wholeness is all about connecting all parts of ourselves and discovering they all work as one. We are both delicate and powerful, which connects us to spirit in a very special way, right?
I would agree.
So when we show up in pieces, it takes away from our divine purpose. Yeah. When you show up in pieces, it takes away from your divine purpose. Because who you are at your core has a big part to do with what you're meant to do here in this realm, I would say. And so when things happen, it picks apart at you. And if you're not dealing with those things that have affected you in whatever way, you're not showing up completely, which is taking away from what it is you are meant to be and who it is you are meant to be in this space. Like, for example, for myself, because I have been abused physically and I have been raped and all of those things, it was not easy for me to connect with people. Although I empathize with everybody, I lacked empathy, and I wasn't sure how to connect that and understand that. But when I did, I realized that I am a very empathetic person, and once I let go of all of what had happened, I was able to begin to open up to myself in a way that I hadn't done before. And I was able to love on myself in ways in which I needed in order for me to be the empathetic person that I am, and thus being a part of doing my purpose, which is to be kind. Let me do a break. Purpose does not have to be a grand thing. It is how you choose to show up in the world every day and give what you know you can give every day, no matter what. And so for me, I know, although I'm a singer, and the way in which I decide to give out the music to the world is from my heart and my kindness and all of that stuff like that. So what you are at your core, what you are meant to be at your core, is your purpose. What that looks like is where the gifts come in from spirit or whatever. And once you understand that, and you accept all of those layers, because we women have lots of layers. And once you make peace with whatever had messed that up in a way, you put it all together and you show up, and then you attract that balance. I would say, I wouldn't say a person that completes you, because you complete you, but you attract the balance, and that's what everybody needs. We need balance within self and then outside of self. So that's what I have. I know that was long-winded, but I got there.
She said the same thing
I got there. I got there.
You know, I feel like in order for us to actually have a conversation like this, you have to understand yourself in totality. My question to you before I reiterate a lot of the points you made from a masculine perspective is, you said women have many layers.
Yes.
Are these layers on the outside or the inside to just keep people in connection with the variations of masculine energy versus feminine energy?
I would say most of it is on the inside, because we as women, I think we were looking at something the other day, and I was like, she wanted him to read in between the lines.
Yes.
So that I would say is mostly on the inside. Like, we may sometimes feel like we're saying it outside, but it's not giving that at all. So that's what we have to continue to work on. And I know it starts for a lot of us with the women that we've seen before us.
Right.
So if we don't know what that looks like, to embrace your all of you, and love yourself, love all of your pieces, and not just the pieces that are appealing, quote unquote. Because I feel like there's no bad or good, and I think I said that before.
Right.
But yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, I referenced the many different variations of how you can apply the things on the outside.
Yes.
So the variation, there is no difference, because I organize myself with the wholeness of the feminine discretion that she has applied from connecting everything within herself. It allows me to have placement within the ideologies that I have within me. My partner brings those out, and I direct those within her on the outside as well.
Like a partner and not a father. Because a lot of times, us women especially, who haven't grown up with our dads, we tend to want our partners to father in a way, and if not, that means you still gotta do some
Right, because you have to know the difference between the influences, and as I said in the last video, the foundation of any problem that a human being may go through is simply from the foundational environment in which they come from. That is the two parties that created them, and therefore the boundaries that they have within that. That organizes the boundaries that they may have as codependency on other things that they have not organized femininely or masculinely at this time. So I would say on the outside, if you organize those things, you have the confidence when they may or may not be working, because this, as we speak, is a grind.
Yeah.
It's a grind that takes time, but this is something that I believe in. On the outside, the organization and the collective spiritual acceptance of everything that I say and do is now magnified in wholeness with a partner. These are things that I practiced on the outside long before I knew I was capable of being worthy of being with someone like that, if you will. So, in everything that is balanced, you have to know that balance and what balance looks like for you as an individual before you can attract a conversation like that.
Right. I would agree. And we all have both masculine and feminine.
Yes.
So some of us may exude that a little bit more than others, like one trait more so than others. And it could be a female who is more masculine, or a male who has a more feminine approach to things. And
what would feminine be? Would that be a body language expression? Or would
I think it's more emotional.
More emotional.
It's the response to things.
The response to things. Exactly. Feminine, anything is a thought of how you go about doing something. And the way I look at it is that the discretion that you have to be able to make a decision without making one.
Yes.
The self-control is the best control. Well, when you think about it on the outside, it is believed that women and feminine energy in general
Mhm.
is allowed to be thoughtful. That's why the courtesies of physicality aren't always given to a woman, even though they're more than capable of creating life, still being able to live life and do things that are supernatural beyond the physical.
Mhm.
But they're still given a courtesy to be held to open doors and be excused for things that, a lot of feminine energy allow for you to let them get away with.
Yeah.
They won't be that masculine energy because you try so hard to be half full, if that makes sense. And it's beautiful when you have a woman that operates her masculine energy as well as her feminine energy, because that is a better partnership.
Yeah.
And on this side, as a masculine energy, operating my feminine energy is knowing when to speak, knowing when to turn the camera, for example, and knowing when to conceal.
Yeah. And I don't know. For me, as far as masculine goes, I'm still figuring that out, so I can't really explain that.
Okay.
Yeah. See, that's being real. I'm being real.
Yeah.
As you guys learn yourself and heal and grow, I'm ebbing and flowing with my findings as well.
I think that's the beautifulness. Being whole doesn't mean you're full.
Yeah.
Being whole is being aware of what you require of yourself to be the best version of yourself. To say, this is what I'm going to do today.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole entire point. And feminine energy for me is being able to balance the need to fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in this life as an indigenous man, you always have to operate in that mindset. But you don't preserve good genes and good looks with that mindset. So as I said, having to change those thoughts and things, there's a bodily context to it as well, and a spiritual context. Being a man, so to speak, in fullness, I don't know what that is. But wholeness is understanding what you choose to express yourself with.
Agreed. I agree 100%.
And with that, I guess that's it, right?
I guess that's...
We don't want to hold you too long, but we want you to have information that you can talk about. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to our A1 Day Ones for stopping by. Let us know. Hit us up on socials at, do you recall?
It's Forever and a Day.
Forever and a Day.
But I will tell you guys exactly what it is.
And that's how real it is.
And we're going to keep this in there because it happens. But, so, actually, it's in our description. We don't have to...
yeah, check the description.
Exactly.
All right.
I don't have to do all of that. And it's okay. We still ebbing and flowing with this YouTube channel. So I thank you guys for ebbing and flowing with us. In a year, we're going to look back. 6 months from now, we're going to look back and say, wow.
Yeah, I'm okay.
You see the beginning, and then you look at here. It's all a part of an ebb and a flow.
Absolutely.
So
I'll be excited to look back and joyously laugh at this.
Exactly. So thank you guys once again for clicking into this discussion about wholeness.
Masculine and feminine wholeness, being able to attract the qualities that you have within yourself,
yes,
outside of yourself, in another party. When is due time? That time comes about when you actually know what you want to do with your life.
Agreed.
And how to deal with the ebbs and flows.
But you at least have a better understanding, because sometimes you still won't know, but you have a baseline, and that's all you need to start off with.
Yeah.
So, and then everything like kind of branches off once you start with that foundation, that base. So.
Also, let us know what you think wholeness is, and how do you contribute to wholeness.
Yes,
see if you have masculine or feminine wholeness, and what you compliment about subscribing to that masculine or feminine energy and attracting that.
Yeah.
Let's start a conversation. Let's build. Thank you again. And this is Forever in a Day with C.
Okay.
You'll be well.